Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being there to gain knowledge. As most of you know, this is the 6th webinar organized by the Commonwealth Executive Master of Business Administration, Public Administration. We call it CEMBA-CEMPA. It was in 7th April 2012, we inaugurated the association conducting an international seminar to coincide with the first AGM. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I like to wish all of you a happy new year, though it's late, but this is our first program for this year and all the very best. It is a challenge for all of us to proceed with this webinar with eminent power cuts, but let's take the challenge and move forward. Before we start the session proper, there are a few housekeeping rules. Please keep your mic on mute mode. The questions will be at the end of the session using a raise hand option, or you can forward to the chat box, which I will question from our eminent speaker. So today's session, role of people professionals in the new world of work. Before we start the session proper, let me invite our very own CEMBA-CEMPA Alumni President, Mr. Indraka Liyanage, to welcome all of you and tell us little about our organization and our objective for this evening. Over to you, Mr. Indraka.
Thank you, Dr. Dhananjaya. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The chief guest today, Professor V. Sivalogathasan, Dean of the Management Faculty of Open University of Sri Lanka. All other Deans of the faculty in the Open University of Sri Lanka and department heads, Dr. Champika, Liyanagamage, Chief Coordinator of CEMBA-CEMPA program, Professor Nalin Abeysekara, and the faculty members and Academia of Management faculty. Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar, our distinguished presenter today, Dr. Dhananjaya Dharmaratne, our Vice President and the session chair. Then Miss Vindya, Jayasena, Registrar and our Vice President. Dr. Sridharan, our immediate past President. Secretary of the Association, Mr. Indika Wijerathna. And our liaison officer, Mr. Cecil Pereira and Mr. Yajith Silva. And all our EXCO members of the Alumni. My dear fellow members of Alumni of CEMBA-CEMPA, invitees, students and all other participants and guests and academia of all other universities who are logged into the session today. On behalf of the Alumni, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you today's event and highly appreciate your interest shown to the participate in the seminar despite your busy schedules and the power cuts as Dr. Dhananjaya explained earlier. It is a positive sign to observe the society is getting back on its feet with adhering to safety guidelines. If you go back, I think we heard that the airport was full of tourists yesterday and day before, and it seems like we are now have identified the ways and means of tackling the challenges faced due to the pandemic and overcome its impact. Our alumni have been conducting sessions via Zoom and other electronic platforms as CPD development events for its members for some time now. And today's program would be such an event in which we attempt to discuss the role of people professionals in the new world of work. The program was scheduled as a result of the demand made by the members to conduct sessions on development of people in organizations, and I think we have invited the most appropriate personality for such a presentation. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Mr. Yajith Silva's coordination in that doing so. Hence, I hope the audience will have many queries to be made from the eminent panel who would be invited from, and there would be thought-provoking sessions in the time to come. We as an alumni have believed that conducting such programs to upbring the knowledge of our members and the society is one of such giveaways to the country out of the knowledge we have gained while at the university. My sincere appreciation is also extended to the organizing committee for the support extended in arranging this program. In addition, we have lined up many such events and CSR projects by the alumni and would like to cordially invite you to keenly participate in those activities. Just to touch upon a recent CSR project that we conducted recently would be to provide PPP packs for the health workers. Actually, our own member, Dr. Sivalogathasan, was patronaging that event, and we were able to hand over that to him during the last month with a small function at the university with the participation of VC and our dean. So there are many more events that we have organized, and we will be notifying you, and we would like your contribution in doing so. Without further ado, I would like to invite all of you to actively participate in today's events and also take back points discussed to be applied in your organizations. May either by an investor or by an intellectual who will ultimately support the country's overall objectives of economic development. Have a fruitful evening and stay safe and healthy. Over to you, Dr. Dhananjaya.
Thank you very much, Mitra Indraka Liyanage. You have been always pressing us in order to share knowledge with these CPD sessions. So thank you for your kind words and your welcome address. As we all know, during COVID, the buildings, the offices, especially the schools are just wasted. What gives these physical resources the life is the people. So I think it's most appropriate today's subject for us to move forward. What is people professional? As with other professional fields of work, the people profession should be perceived as one which upholds the professional standards and takes a strategic, expert approach, recognizing the impact and value of people teams contribute to organizational goals. Today's presenter, Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar, thank you very much once again for sharing your knowledge. I will just take you all of you through his profile. Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar is currently holding a position of Director Human Resources at Watersedge Limited and counts over 30 years of experience in the field of human resources management and general management. He has held senior managerial positions in Lanka Limited, Waterwell Plantation, Kales Plantation, Lanka Equities, Mars Holdings, Brandex, WNS Iowa, Delmage Foresight. Further, he has held a regional head of HR position in Malaysia for Good Hope Asia Holdings. It is evident from the above that he has exposure to several industries such as plantation, apparel manufacturing, business process outsourcing / knowledge process outsourcing, diversified industries, palm oil refineries, and hospitality industries. Further, Mr. Ken is also a senior faculty member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management since 2008. Ken has a Bachelor of Arts qualification from University of Peradeniya and postgraduate diploma in management from Postgraduate Institute of Management PIM. Ken holds membership in following professional bodies: chartered membership at Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Sri Lanka, Malaysian Institute of Human Resource Management, Malaysian Association of Certified Coaches. He is the current Vice President of CIPM, Sri Lanka, and serving in the CIPM Executive Council for more than 6 years. With that note, I would like to hand over the proceeding to Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Dhananjaya, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening also, Mr. Liyanage, and chief guest today, Professor Sivalogathasan. Good evening again, all of you. So I will, before I share the presentation, like to, explain and what is people professional. I think Indra already mentioned about people professional. So, so we'll start with the presentation of the what is world of work, the new world of work actually. So we will move on to this. Just give me, get my presentation right, and yeah. Okay, so we have two things today to discuss. One is, new world of work. The other one is role of people professionals. That's the subject matter today. See, the world of work is changing, as you all know. It's with the IT revolution and the technology reinventing work, the world of work is changing, and not we before 20, 30 years back. Now everything has drastically changed. I think you would have seen post-COVID how the world of work changed rapidly by using technology, and now people are talking about hybrid work or working from home, or virtual working, and so so much of changes is taking place already. I think it's taking place. So look at large-scale workforce consolidations, managing multi-generational workforce. I think we'll come to that later. Global talent scarcity. I think you all know there are lots of talent scarcity. I think already hitting Sri Lanka. If you are in Sri Lanka, already you can see companies are struggling to get the right talent because there is increasing workforce migration. I think when work migration taking place, workforce migration, especially with the current context of economic difficulties in Sri Lanka, you would see, the workforce is, they are looking at better, pasture, greener pasture in other countries. So yeah, drive for green job creation and sustainability is also been talked about. Global warming is being discussed. So the world of work is drastically changing, and generally, should we go to office at all? As you know, companies like most of these companies like Unilever or Google or Infosys, I think remote working is being discussed, and people are talking about flexible working arrangements, and also the aging workforces. Sri Lanka also has an aging population. Recently, the retirement age been extended to 60. In other countries, even some countries, they are moving towards 65, 70, because of the global talent scarcity as well. There is, and also due to the aging workforce, and people are being, asked to work after retirement. In Sri Lanka, you see many companies rehiring people with, for tacit knowledge. So that is the current world of work. If you look at, the current scenarios in Sri Lanka as well as globally as well, lots of talent scarcity. You have people, but are they employable? That is the question. So we'll we'll move on to look at the world of work. So the macro forces of change in the world, as you know, emerging markets reshaping the global economy, and there are, emerging markets for many electronic products taking place, widening the gap between haves and have-nots. Sri Lanka as well, you can see, the gap is widening. There are people without basic amenities. I think we find in Sri Lanka, there are food shortage as well, and rapid technological innovation, and it's creating transparency and lowering the transaction cost, of course. So people look for transparency, and everything you discussed, everything is now discussed in social media, and so people had to be transparent, and that's an era in Sri Lanka as well. Corrupt politicians are being exposed, and so transparencies, even though there is mega scale corruption, taking place, but it's being exposed through this rapid technological innovation. So new world of work, it's pushing for knowledge workers to emerge. I think, I mean, a lot of knowledge work is being emerged and with the use of information technology, and talent is the new wit. So I think, we need new talent, but, the people who are talented, unleashing the potential, so they are the major force to the agent of economic growth. So these are some of the development taking place in the macro world to push for a new world of work. So world of work trends, as I discussed earlier, demographics, talent mismatch. What is talent mismatch? We have people, but do you have the right people? That is what important. So I think we have people. There is an increase in unemployment rates all over the world, but do we have right people? Every industry, look at not only Sri Lanka, now due to migration of work, as you know, many people are working from Sri Lanka, contributing to the other countries through these BPO, KPO industries. So, but even globally, there is, as I said before, there is talent scarcity and rise of customer sophistication, So customers are looking at quality products and they don't want to compromise, and, customer wants, everywhere customer wants quality products. I think due to social media, increasing the social media usage, everybody, want to, go for quality, and, sometimes they want to, show that, the quality of life has gone up. So then people are looking at product sophistication. So that's important. And individual choice, it's also taking the center stage, and a lot of technological revolution. So these are some of the world of work new trends with technology. So, and people are looking for quality, and, so everybody is looking for quality output with higher productivity. However, do we have people to sort of, satisfy these demands by the world of work? Do we have people or employable people? That's another question we need to discuss. So we'll move on. So as I said before, technology has, I think it has changed the way we work. How do we work? It matters, less what we know and more what we can find. So it matters less what we do ourselves and more how we collaborate with the others. I think so. There are some important things now, rather than competing alone. I think lots of people are now doing collaborative businesses, which is helpful in with everybody's achieving synergy in whatever they do. It matters less how we look when we work, and more how much work will be done. So that is important. The productivity is spoken about. It matters less what skill we have mastered in the past, and more how we will learn the new skills in the future. So what are the new skills? So they are talking about reskilling and upskilling. This is very, very important to survive in the new world of work, because we need to understand algorithms, artificial intelligence, use of artificial intelligence. It's taking center stage. All the administrative processes are done by the artificial intelligence. So that will, I'll come back to the role of people professionals when we discuss artificial intelligence and use of algorithms, and how do we, this makes people, then people say some jobs will go obsolete and there are new jobs have been created in the digital space. So, so what are those new skills and the new designations we need to look at? So then we unlearn what we learned before and reskill and upskill. We learn more new things about, it's all about technology. We have to become maestro of technology. So that is the new world of work. If we don't know, how to use a smartphone or you become obsolete now. If you don't know, now see, now people are using Teams, Zooms, various other platforms, and people are in the social media platform, and there are so much apps have been, I mean, you get 1,000 odd apps if you go to in the Google space. A lot of apps are being used. So I think otherwise we will become obsolete. So everybody started learning new skills. So that's important in the new world of work. So we'll move on. So then also talent skills mismatch that I spoken before as well. We have the right talent or we have the right skill demanded by the market, which is, I think, everywhere it's a problem all over the world. There's a lot of talent scarcity. I think if you check with many people, professionals or HR professionals in the country, they will say, what is your most difficult task now or difficult key result area? They will always say talent acquisition. Do we have the right talent? No. So we have the heads, but do we have the people whom we are requiring? Recently, I met a gentleman, a CEO from confectionery industries. They said, we are looking for general managers. And then, so why can't you advertise? Oh, okay, what does it mean? We advertised, we interviewed, but we don't have the right skill set. The right skill set means analytical, to be analytical and, to be, to understand the business and the business acumen. These skills are lacking because, as you know, Sri Lanka, especially we have a brain drain and people are, migrating to, developed countries. So, I mean, so we have skill mismatch as well. So that is also important. Now look at the working age population shrinking. This is, I think, this was predicted in 2011. In Mexico, I'll look at 1970 to 2010 and predicted from 2010 to 2050. So everywhere it is shrinking, the working age population shrinking, but so we need new talent and the new generations to work. So it's a problem all over the world. So how do we overcome, not only in Sri Lanka, wherever? So that is what I said, the aging population is all over. So I think with the life expectancy is high, I think the tacit knowledge being used for probably the retirement age is to increase further. But, some of the, there are pros and cons. Some of the entrepreneurs and CEOs are thinking, some of the people are not adding value and they are not just a figurehead in the companies. So you mean to say, should we keep them till 60 years? So that's a debate. But, I would say, you could, you can upskill and reskill them and, teach information technology, try to use them because they have a lot of tacit knowledge. So that's the others have been discussed. Now look at an admin assistant, skill needed then and now. Then is typing, diary management, meeting preparation, basic computing skills. Now, extensive IT skills. See how the skills levels have changed. They should have the knowledge of Zoom, MS Teams, social media, coordinating senior leadership figures in multiple locations, not only in one location. So, admin assistant will work with a person in America, or he can be working for a multinational company. He can work in Brazil or somewhere in South Africa. So, and multi-skilling. So now people are looking at multi-skilling. You should be able to do multi-skill, not only, admin assistant. You should be able to do admin. You should be able to do facility management. You should be able to do, equipment management. You should be able to, conduct press conferences. So it's a multi-skilling, arranging online webinars, conference calls with multiple nationalities, regions, understanding artificial intelligence, problem solving, critical thinking. So the skill levels or the competence levels have increased. And I think if you are a baby boomer or a Gen X, you would have understood, you would have seen how the admin system earlier and now it has become, even you can't find, and CEOs are looking for personal assistants. but CEOs are not finding proper personal assistants because the skill set have changed. So what you can't just get from the market. Probably you have to hire a graduate and train them as a admin assistant or personal assistant. And now a good personal assistant salary is around 150,000 with car, etc. I mean, you know, the private sector, because of the scarcity. You can with the right people. So, and if you look at this particular, this is, you know, the unemployment rate in Sri Lanka. So you have now see 4%. I mean, it's been hovering around. I think this is central figures hovering around 4.8% in 2020. So we have, you know, although unemployment is high, we don't have the right skill of people. That is what I'm trying to say. And share of youth not in employment, education or training in youth population by gender or by sex. So you look at Sri Lanka here, 31% female. Share of youth not in employment, education or training in the youth population. Out of youth population, so Sri Lanka is 31% female are not in employment, and male 17.1%. So this is national data compiled by ILO statistics, latest available access updated November 2020. This is the latest figure. So if you can look at that, and most important hard skills as chosen by recruiters and hiring managers for the new world of work. Look at analytical skills comes number one, high level IT skills, basic computer knowledge, customer service skills, presentation skills, team management, project management, marketing, writing, and graphic design. So these are new set of skills recruiters are looking for when hiring managers. So, but how many, you know, are we ready? So companies, I think, so I'll come to when I come to the role of people professional, we can discuss how these skills can be, you know, reskill and upskills. So you can't, you know, find people now, say, for example, even for a waiter or we'll say, service or host or hostess for what I mean, where we find very difficult to find competent people. So what we thought was recruit, train, upskill, reskill the current people, even for a basic industry. So look at hiring managers. So this is this research is based on 2020 study on skills employees look for, conducted by ZETI. So that is the research organizations. We'll move on. So if you look at values, focus, reward, lifestyle, if you look at this data with the what do you call the generation groups, if you look at values, the traditional, before baby boomers, the traditional group, loyalty and authority, that's their values. Look at the baby boomers, they're loyal to the company. So some of us are in baby boomers, some of us are in Gen X. Gen X, self-reliance. They rely on themselves. But look at Gen Y. They want community loyalty. They're loyal to the community, what they do, and they should be responsible. And Gen Z, communal loyalty, cynicism, and mistrust of authority. So they don't trust the authority, you know. So they Gen Z is more knowledgeable, and they have enough information with them. So they always they mistrust authority, and you know they don't like to be in authority. They should be spoken, and they should be explained and justified when you take a decision. And look at the traditional group, they work for company goals. And baby boomers work for team and personal goals. Gen X They're looking at the career goals. Gen Y, they won't learn and they grow faster. Now look at the generation Y, they said, okay, we have to learn how far we can go to the next level. And Gen Z, the digital natives, they want job security, learning and growth. Measure. Traditional, how do we measure their success? They want the company to grow. And baby boomers, personal, their performance. Gen X, personal, results and fun. And again, speed of career growth. And speed of career growth again for Gen Z. Reward. Traditional people, they want for doing the job. Baby boomer, results and contribution. Gen X, outcomes. What is the outcome by that? Their satisfaction comes outcome by what they action. And Gen Y, again, reward for learning and knowledge acquisition. They want to gain knowledge, while, reward for learning, again, reward for learning and knowledge acquisition. Look at the lifestyle of different generation groups. So the future, the world of work, if you look at Gen Y and Gen Z is going to be the future world of work. So this gives the meaning for the role of people professional. How do we manage Gen Y and digital natives? That's what is important. So job security, we look at lifestyle, job security, company success, and lives to work. So they are living to work, traditional people. And baby boomers also, they are living to work. And Gen X, they are working to live. Okay, they are looking for work-life balance. Gen Y, again, work-life is blurred. They don't know what is important, more life or more work. They're blurred. Makes no distinction between work and life. So they say, so that is where you pay attention to this is the new world of work, because this population, you have the people profile has to manage. So how are you going to manage? These are the challenges. You have to give them learning, you have to give them growth. They are very casual attitude if you look at them. So that's the so here again, I will say people professionals are not only who are the HR heads who are managing people, it is everybody, all the line managers who manage a group of people. Because if you look at the HR profession, they are there to give policies, procedures, and the systems to work. But who really manage people are the line managers. So line managers also, I would say, is the people professionals. So we'll move on. So which management skill do employees and employees needed to prepare for the future? Okay. So digital transformation changing, yeah. So digital transformation, the design of organization is changing, as we said, from the hierarchical structure to the matrix structure. Increased competition, ever more uncertainty call for, yeah. So there's a lot of uncertainty taking place. Now, see, you can see during post-COVID, what's that uncertainty? How do you manage people? Are we going to lay down people? Are we going to sort of, lay off people? Are we sort of upskill and reskill for different skill set? So the most important skill for the future of management are pragmatism, creativity. It's very, very important. Transformative vision. We transform from one to the other. Transformational leadership skills. Yeah, sorry, to come through the other way. Forward-lookingness and adaptability. So you should be able to adapt to whatever situation. You would have seen during the post-COVID or during COVID, even company people have changed. A lot of people jobs changed because people were on quarantine, people didn't come to work. So everybody else were doing, whatever jobs because to protect their company. For example, as a director of human resources, I went and delivered food to people because I need to protect my company. I need to pay salaries for my people. So the adaptability, so you can't have your egos, So you have to do whatever that's going to be the future. You can do, and you can look for office assistants And you can't live, I mean, you can't expect people to bring, coming in food, take photocopy for yourself. And these things will change in the future drastically in order you to improve productivity and, I mean, cut costs. And digital literacy is very important. Then transformational leadership skills. You know what is transformational leadership is, you know, transform from one stage to another stage, look for new ideas and look for not transactional, as opposed to transactional. It's more transformational leadership skills, driving people towards new vision, new horizon, new you know, world altogether. So these leaders are being looked for. So that is what's the changing world of work. So this is the HR trends, the people trends for the 2022, also the future. So I mean, human resources as a, I mean, HR department as a product. You need to sell your product to the other department, other people in the company. Then they need to convince to buy. So it has a profit center. I think this way we spoke about, rather than a service center, because you need to people professionals to, you know, live for their credibility. The services are they should give the value added service. Then collaboration by design. I think rather than, I mean, fractionalizing as department, we all work for a purpose. We all work for one team, one goal. I mean, now say, you know, with this departmentalization, functionalization, people are working with their own agenda and own interest. But going forward, you know, people are to be, you know, collaborate with everybody, and you got to be the business partners, which I'll come a little later. And talent marketplaces for talent allocation. Look for talent and new talent. So that's very, very important. And career experiences. I think the career management is important, and you need to give everybody's, as I told you, Gen Z and Gen Y, so looking for faster career experiences. They want faster career development. So people professionals to give, I mean, rapid career progression. So to give rapid career progression, the business has to grow, the productivity has to improve. So you can't just give like that, but, you know, so then again, how do we give career experience if business is not growing? That's the question. So then, so we'll come back to that in my next few slides. HR owning the business transformation. So all this time, finance and marketing, they're owning the business transformation. But going forward, it will be human resources, the people, the leaders, the people professionals, they will own the business transformation. How they will take the lead, how, you know, we'll transform the business, how, you know, new talent has been brought in, how, as I said before, upskilling and reskilling has been done, prepare for the multiple futures, not only multiple future in the sense, now see, there will be people will, with the technology going forward, there won't be, people will be doing multiple jobs. We'll come to that later, because I think this job of permanency is, you know, is fading with the idea of permanency. So we need to amend labor laws in the future. People should be able to do, people won't be, you know, working for a company. They will undertake like an individual person, specialist person, undertake multiple assignments. And HR technology is for good, of course, like, you know, using artificial intelligence. How do we use technology? Now in a lot of other companies, they already started doing this, even to shortlist application. All the administrative work is done via artificial intelligence for HR. So then the HR professionals or people leaders will have more time to spend with people, you know, by coaching and counseling. And, you know, then Professor Dave Ulrich said, sometime back, about 20 years back, he said, managing by wandering around, you know, don't be seated in your cubicles. You just walk around and, you know, talk with people, you know, talk to them and be with the people. Now, Dave Ulrich again says, you know, MBCI, you know, managing by connecting with the individuals. Or connecting with individual means now there's remote work. So you can't, by walking, by wandering around. So connecting with individual means what? once in a way, with a conference call or a Zoom call, check how are they doing, and be connected with the people all the time. So that's what Professor Ulrich, recently said. And if you look at, then other thing is diversity, equality, and inclusivity. To diversity, equality, inclusivity, and being. Being means continue to do that. And you don't look at caste, creed, age, gender. Those biases are being removed. And, if you're working with a multiple location, with the multiple countries, connecting through, via online. So these things are still fading away. But, Sri Lanka has to improve a lot on this diversity, inclusivity, equality. There are a lot of biases, a lot of discrimination are taking place. But in other countries, these are being discussed. The shift from people analytics to data literacy. So now, data literacy is very, very important. You need to know, they are professional need to know, they work with the data and they understand the data. Otherwise, you can't be an effective business partner. Then the rewards should be impactful. Whatever rewards you are paying to the person, those rewards, that should result in ROI. So whatever salary you pay to the employee, there should be value addition to the business. Otherwise, there's no ROI, the business won't be successful, as you all know. Then the skills economy. So the economy all depending on, the entire economy depends on skills, whatever company who acquire more competent, more skills will be successful as opposed to other resources. So that is what, the successful, the new HR trends. Then the mindset shift for organization transformation. So I think this has been discussed for the future world of work. Rather than only looking at the profit, organization now looking for what's the purpose doing business. So it's not only bringing profits, need to look after the employees, return on investment for the shareholders, and the return for stakeholders, employee well-being. So it's not only profits, but the purpose of an organization being discussed, as I said before as well, as opposed to hierarchies. Now they are looking at more networks and to work more collaborative working environment, support each other through teamwork. So now organizations are fading away from hierarchy and, who reports to whom is not immaterial. How do we all of us together achieve the objectives? That is becoming more important. And from controlling to empowering people, rather than, the leaders, the people leaders controlling people. I say, do what I say. I want this to be done. No. Then you can ask some ideas from them. Okay, I'm empowering you. You give me an idea. How do we solve the problem together? So that is being discussed. That's the future of work. From now, say earlier we planned and, how do we do the things best? Now, a lot of companies are allowing employees to experiment. Even if they make a mistake, that is being tolerated. The mistake may result in losses. But if you, through experiments of new researches, new innovative products, new creativity, you can conquer the world with, with consumer wants looking for, as I said before, the quality and, the sophistication. They want new innovative products. So the companies are allowing people to do more experimentation. And earlier from privacy, in the sense the data is, all data, everything controlled to certain groups, maybe the board of directors or to the top management. Now it's been transparent. Everybody has access to any data, because otherwise people, they mistrust, the management. So this is the shift taking place in the new world of work. So that is the new world of work. Now, let me discuss about quickly the role of people professionals. Either it could be HR professional or a leader or a line manager. So these are very, very important role. Number one, I would say talent acquisition. So because there is a talent scarcity, how through your networks to bring in good talent for your organizations to achieve the purpose of the organization. As I said, that's important. Then everybody, now see, earlier it is only finance and marketing, they own the business. Now people professionals or the HR or anybody support, they do the business partnering. So to support the business, to do the business partnering, everyone, whether whatever function you are, maybe, you are a leader, you are a branch manager, you are a whoever, especially the HR department, the people management professionals, to know about the business. In my company, I send every day's turnover to, everybody. So I know what outlet made, how much you made. So you are in the forefront of the business. If you don't understand the business, how can HR add value to the business? So business partnering is very, very important. To know the business partner, to know the business, you should have the business acumen to understand the business, what business we are in. So they should know. So if you know that, now there is always a talk, the people who are in finance or marketing, they sort of reach the boardrooms. Now, if you look at, there are shifts. The people managers are, if you are good in your people skills, probably in HR, but if you know your business as well, you can reach the boardroom much faster. And I was talking about multiple jobs earlier. I think the multiple jobs repeated, I think it's more important. Probably I made a mistake, sorry. So multiple jobs is now it's going to come in. So you will do, 2 hours assigned on one company, another 2 hours on some company. So there'll be multiple contract. Now Sri Lanka also, this due to the talent scarcity, I'm sure these part-time jobs and multiple jobs will emerge. I think so. The legislators, the labor laws has to be amended for the future, for the people managers to understand. And as I said before, the role of people managers to bring in artificial intelligence into the administrative process. Now, if you look at Google or Infosys or the big companies, they hire 5,000, 6,000 people, in a couple of months. So when they hire people a month, who shortlists all those CVs? It's shortlisted by the artificial intelligence. And all the HR processes, everything, the hard part of HR, like the data analysis and, all the, the recruitment processes, filing, the payroll, even the talent management, all done through artificial intelligence. So then you'll say that, okay, so what is the role of a people professional? No, he has to counseling, he has to do coaching, that is what important, to do the career counseling. So rather than looking at the administrative process, the shift is shifting to proper people management, to speak to their hearts, speak to their minds, and motivating them, because everybody they need that, rather than as you said, it is from controlling to collaborating, controlling to engagement of people. So you need more soft skills. So hard skills, your hard part of your administrative will be managed by the artificial intelligence, and the people has to be managed through coaching and counseling and leadership training. People have to, I think I spoke about transformative leaders are important for people managers, how they transform their followers. So leadership training is take the synthesis. Companies are investing lots of money on in modern developed world. So every one should be a leader to manage the multiple challenges. And also I said the role is also to upskill and reskill people with the change of technology is taking place year on year. So rapid technology, and by using IoT, Internet of Things, and the gig economy is being spoken about, how using our technology, how you reap the benefit of technology. Many people who are involved in, multiple jobs. So that is going to take center stage. So you have multiple contract now. If in your company, this guy may be working for your company and also doing another company, but there will be what do you call conflict of interest issues, and those antitrust laws, those will also come to center stage. Those has to be managed. So those are some of the important part of the the people professionals. So with that, I think taken almost I said 40 minutes, but taken almost 1 hour or not around, yeah, exactly 50 minutes. So that's the end of my presentation, and so I leave it to Dr. Dhananjaya to take over the proceedings for any questions that may around, or a panel discussion or whatever.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ken. Unfortunately, my power went off, but I'm okay with my backup power. But only thing is, you will not be able to see me because I
Okay.
don't have light. So
I see.
thank you very much, Mr. Vijay Kumar. You touch upon how important the people are and how the new work of place is changing, and what are the skills that you need in order to manage this change. So with that note, I would like to give my mic to Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, our chief guest tonight, Mr. Professor Sivalogathasan, for a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Really appreciate then Vijayakumar, maybe you remember, I don't know, but I met some time back in CIPM.
I think yes, yeah.
Okay, really thank you. So your experience throughout this, to how the transforming this business and also transforming skill to the current digital scenario. And so how the people want to transform and how managing the people in a new scenario, not only the managing and the business also changing. So the changing, getting the very fast to then our adaptations. So we should have a quick adapt and then the change. So the way the people taking and the way people are managing is, yeah, very good. Thank you very much, and the sharing your experience, and also I like to just not asking question, just the explaining, because currently when we facing all organization and current, as you mentioned, this Z generation and Y generation, how the most of organization facing the problems managing these people, because there are lack of skill plus and also the accountability and responsibility in a workplace. So as a training institution and professional institution, how we can change these people behave to become a productive the people in organization. That is my kind request to you. By experience you can share with that. Thank you very much, and thank you our alumni, doing great job, and proud of our alumni, and President and Indraka and the Secretary Indika, and our another active members, and then Dr. Dhananjaya and Yajith and Cecil, all are the members. Thank you very much, and also the continuing CSR project. They are doing continuing good CSR project. That is why another example for our CPD. And they are contributing and developing themselves. Thank you very much. And over to you again, Vijayakumar.
Yes, you wanted to know how CIPM can change the new world of work, move towards a new world of work.
Yeah.
Actually, now we are that's a very good question, Professor. We need to, I think we are planning to conduct new, sessions to educate the business forum and educate the business community at large. And also we have included in our CQHRM syllabus as well about the new world of work for the students. But for the business world, we are planning to conduct a series of workshops from CEOs to, conducting through CEOs forum and through press releases, through social media. Now, tomorrow we are discussing with two CEOs. I think there's a webinar taking place tomorrow with our president and two CEOs. How to face the challenges of the new world of work. So actually, CAPM has to. It's a good question. And also, as a national level, we are talking to even not only the private sector. We want to bring this into the the state sector as well. We have spoken to a couple of government bodies, but to see, I think their priorities are different to what is our priorities are. We have met a couple of ministers as well, but the pace is too slow. But also, actually, we are going to start some working with some programs with ILO. We have having discussions and how do we take this forward. So this particular facing the new world of work. And also we have already started, we are helping the company. We have a people management solutions, the separate section in the CIPM. We are working with private sector companies because they, of course, they have funds, etc. So they are making the best use of, our resource person to conduct the consultancy, do the trainings, and, to upgrade the leaders and the employees. So that is taking place. But our focus, I think we should move to general public, education. So which probably we are conducting webinars and, we are conducting TV interviews. So we just started, Professor, but, we have to go a long way on this aspect, but definitely we are at the right path. So we'll keep on, working with, collaborate with universities. I think we have signed MOUs with almost all the universities in Sri Lanka to conduct similar programs like what we are doing today with you all. So that's also, then the resource person will be educated and all the other people in the system will be educated. So it is a Herculean task, but we have to do it, and definitely I think we should do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Yes, you all are at CIPM, you all are moving on the right direction. And I would like to see Dr. Sri, who is the Deputy Director General of Health Services, our immediate past president, who is joining with us, and also Dr. Sanath Mahawithana, who is one of our alumni. And I would like to give away to Mr. Capitipola, who has raised a hand. Over to you, Mr. Capitipola. You can unmute and ask the question.
Thank you very much. And Ken, that was a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. And in the final slide, you talked about talent acquisition. And also in initial part of your presentation, you talk about talent shortage. So if you try to connect this shortage and acquisition, so there's a gap. So what is the role of people managers? How we are going to bridge this gap? What is your insights, Ken?
Yeah, I think, Commodore Manoj Capitipola, he is my council colleague. I think it's a good question. I think, of course, we have a talent shortage. The one side is talent acquisition, so there is a big gap. So acquisition, you got to be smart enough to acquire people, not only from Sri Lanka, through, multiple now with the technological working environment, you can bring in talent from all over the world. It is via remote working. That is one of the strategies. The other strategies I was talking about, if there is a talent shortage in the market, you need to bring in new talent. So you bring in the raw talent and do, reskilling and upskilling. That is the only way out, but no other way, because every company who are looking for talent. So there is, then the price of the talent also will go up. But there is an amount of spending on headhunting, bringing talent from elsewhere in the world also going to be expensive. So whether companies can afford, that is another problem. It can crop up when companies fight for talent. That is what, the advantages for the developed country. The people are moving towards greener pasture because of the high working, the living standards. So people are moving towards there. However, people like countries like us, etc., the only alternative I see is reskilling and upskilling. Does it answer your question?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Yes, what you said was correct. Now the people are moving towards their passions, because yesterday it was my son's graduation where the chief guest was Dr. Dhananjaya, who started as a radiologist and ended up as a film director. So that is where his passion was. And I would like to invite Dr. Sanath Mahawithana, who taught us to be in the present moment. Over to you, Doctor. You can unmute and ask the question.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately for me also, I can't on my camera because of the poor reception. I hope Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar, you are okay with that.
I'm absolutely fine with that person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So first of all, we are so privileged today to listen to a caliber of a professional like you, where you shared us with your wisdom as well as plethora of information, which I feel that very important for people like us. Now, as you very correctly pointed out in your presentation, that adaptability, even Professor also touched that one, seems to be playing one of the major roles in terms of today's context. And also, if I'm not mistaken, you have very correctly defined it as also an skill. So one of the things that all the time I've been contemplating is that if it is a skill, there must be some good tools with which we should be able to uplift our skills. So I would like to hear from your insights that if you are to build it as a skills, what are the best set of tools that are available today for one to practice? Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. I think it's a good question. So what are the tools we need to, you mean improvise our skills, isn't it? Improvise, and how do we sort of, to do the reskilling and upskilling as well. I think there is no sort of, a limit to all the tools what we use. Probably my view is, I would say is experiential learning. It is, rather than classroom learning, I always believe in, now people speak about outward bound training. Have you heard about outward bound training? But it is actually known as adventure-based experiential learning, ABEL, that's what they call. Because you got to, now say in a classroom session, okay, you say you are doing a planning, okay, you need to improve your planning skills. But in classroom session, you can say, okay, this is what you plan, this is what you allocate, this is what the time allocation, this is what, this is the number of days you need. However, you take into a practical situation and give them to do you go to an outward bound training, you give a raft building. So you give the tools for them to, the materials to build. But the tool there is, you actually, the person who are doing the planning, he experience what he is supposed to do before you build a raft, what materials you need, these are the limited resources you need, how are you going to make use of the limited resources? So all that works in your mind. So that is, it just goes right into your mind. And also you repeat it whenever you want to do planning. Okay, I did it, and this my particular training, that he remembers that he is doing. Now see, confidence building. Now can you sort of teach confidence in a classroom? But you take a person, how to build the confidence. Now you say, okay, you climb this particular height, all the safety equipment, everything is given. So, this person will be scared, okay, not. So I ask him to climb, one particular height where he is confident. When he reaches, can you try another level? So it is So experiential learning is number one. My view, I would say. And there are many other tools available. You got to, like coaching, counseling, and coaching in Sri Lanka. It's still primitive. What I would say, you look for a coach now. See, in other countries, in developed countries, you go to a coach. There are life coaches, there are business coaches, there are performance coaches. So coaching is what people think coaching is still training. It is not training. Coaching in singular dictionary. I also looking for this word. Coach ki namokada purna karu in singular kino, but it is not. It is a person who self-empowers the other person. So in coaching, who finds the solution for a problem? It is coach or the coachee. Generally, it's a coachee, because if coachee finds his own solution, he takes responsibility. He owns the solution, so which he doesn't blame anybody. What the coach does is he empowers the person to come out with his own solution. So, but Sri Lanka, with our people are being, I don't know, this is my view. I think people can still criticize or argue. Why should I have a coach? I know, why should I have a coach by paying $250 per hour? That is the general rate in other countries. They pay $250 per hour. Even people like Steve Jobs, people like, all the successful business, they have their own coaches. That doesn't mean they don't know business, but somebody to empower them to, thought provoke, to think differently, to find their own ideas. So that is one of the other tool, as I would say. But, then there are now you have, LinkedIn learning. There are so much of video, the learning portals. There are so many learning portals through LinkedIn. And if you go to YouTube, seeing is believing, you can look at, there are several videos, inspirational videos, etc. But these are, in my view, these tools are, for practical learning, it is important for anybody rather than, reading and, listening to something. It's good, but, practical learning, it's important. Does it answer your question, Professor?
Thank you so much. That's 100% agree with you. And again, you have shown your expertise in this particular subject. And I totally agree that the experiential learning and the coaching, as far as when we consider as a country, we are far behind. And even United States now, in even school students, they used to have their own coaches. But here,
We lost.
I think so. Mr. Ken, thank you very much for your how you share your experience. Its role of people professionals in the new world of work. So I can see Professor Nalin. Dr. Sanath.
no, sorry, actually, I lost. So I just want to convey the message that I totally agree with you, Mr. Ken, and that's a brilliant answer. And as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, we are far behind as compared to the other countries, as you very correctly mentioned, that even in United States now, schools, children have their own coaches. That's not the sports coaches, but the life coaches. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. I think what you said was absolutely correct. We are far behind, but my argument is always I perceive this, but people who go abroad, they do wonderfully well. So how that happens? So in this context, I would like to invite Professor Nalin Abeysekara, who has been with us and who is one of our live wires, who is encouraging us all the time to share your thoughts, Professor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Dhananjaya. Mr. Ken, we really enjoyed with the presentation. I just have one particular concern, because most of the time, if you're really talking about this professionalism and all, sometimes we discuss about problem of ethics and professional ethics. Now we are talking about ethics and the professional ethics. So what sort of a consideration do you have with that? Like we are talking about ethical consideration and the professional ethics.
I think, Professor, I think both is important. I think even being ethical, now I think ethics is not a new subject. As you know, it is, now it's been spoken about. But if you look at our history, 2,500 years ago, we speak about King Elara. There is, I don't know, what Mahavamsa says is, even he punished his own son. I mean, he wants to show that he is ethical. So I think professional ethics and professional ethics both are relevant to, I mean, I was speaking about transparency. People, the new Gen Z and, the new Gen X, they always look for transparency. So transparency emerges from your ethical behavior, whether it's ethical or professional ethics. If you don't have ethical foundation, you will not have, you can't have a transparent behavior. So to be transparent, practice what you preach. Or I mean, now see, ethic, is quite very much important in the modern era of communication, because when you use, unethical, it has been, you have been exposed in all over the world now, so quickly because of the, you can't hide anything with this communication superhighway with, you are not, not in the social media, in the newspapers, you look at the Pandora papers, whatever, it's very difficult to sort of, hide. So you being a professional, you got to be ethical, and also you have the professional ethics, and if you want to be a good, successful leader, look at people like, Imran Khan, and people like Lee Kuan Yew, and they preach what they, they practice what they preach. So if we look at the political aspects, even if we look at the business leader, if some business leaders, if they have unethical behavior, they have been, not now, but they have been exposed, they can be successful in their business, but people don't respect them. So the respect comes through ethics and professional ethical behavior. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you very much. And we really enjoyed. So I think with Professor Sivalogathasan and we have our faculty, we would like to have you a kind of a service and all with all this professional work and all in coming months, coming years. Thank you very much.
Of course, I'm happy to support you. No problem at all.
Thank you very much, Professor Nalin. As you correctly said, ethics are the key to any person's success. So with that note, I would like to ask a personal question, Ken, before we hand it over to Yajith for vote of thanks. How do you manage the professional and personal goals in this new era?
Say, as I said, professional goals and personal goals now, say in the new era, both are important. You got to, once you reach your professional goals, and also you need to have your personal goals as well. So then, people were talking about the work-life balance now, saying we have, rather than being work-life balance, we look for more, they want to enjoy their life, then professionally, to contribute. That is what the Gen Z is talking about in my present scene. And however, if you are the companies, if they are paying a salary or benefit to you, they got to fulfill your ROI or the productivity or return on investment. So as far as you contribute whatever you sort of, what you are paid for, and if you sort of, achieve whatever you wanted to, for the company, then you can, have your professional goals, personal goals, like somebody somebody want to be an actor whilst working for a living, whilst being a singer, that's his passion, but he's there to work for a living in a company. So if you can balance it, it would be ideal. There are people are doing it now, but ultimately as you said, you ultimately perceive, I think, passion rather than your professional goals. You focus on your work, and at the end, because by the time you would have had a comfortable living and you would have earned your money and you would have earned a living, and you become successful in your professional goal. Now look at a person like Yohani. If you take an example, she did a degree and she had higher studies. A parent wants to follow the professional goal, I mean, being a management professional or whatever, but she, whilst doing that, still perceived a personal goal. Now, at one time she excelled, and now she need to, work for a living rather than following the passion and, make a living through the passion. So at particular point, if you want to, follow your personal goals, you achieve your personal goal and to be self-sufficient, then you give up your professional goals. So, but many people are using to build a base to pursue your personal goals. So you are using the base as their professional to start with it, and later. So whatever, some people, they have even their personal goal and professional goal the same. Some people wants to become a CEO in a company director. They have one, whether it can be personal or professional. So it depends on individual, likings, but we need to give, as people professional, we need to look at, give opportunity and what they passionate about. What they are passionate about.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vijay Kumar. So today's, as we all know, theme was role of people professionals in the new world of work. The presentation was done by Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar, who is the Director Human Resources at Watersedge Limited. I think we have so many questions, but the time is not the right time. So we want to close the session. So I would like to invite Mr. Yajith De Silva, who is one of our executive committee members, who was behind this. He wanted to have somebody to do in HR to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Mr. Yajith.
Thank you, Dr. Dhananjaya. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks at the end of this important session. Without taking much of a time, let me thank Mr. Ken Vijay Kumar. I call him Vijay, and he accepted our invitation just on a message, ladies and gentlemen, not even on a call. So thank you, Vijay, for delivering a fantastic presentation. I know your experience, I know because I have worked with you so closely. I think today you have delivered a presentation today, what is needed for tomorrow, not for today. So once again, thank you very much, Vijay, on behalf of Alumni for coming forward and spending your valuable time and sharing this presentation. Let me thank, I will be failing my duties if I do not thank VC of our faculty, Professor Sivalogathasan. Actually, we took this event today from his presentation. It's connected. If you really go through it, it's connected. And thank you very much, sir, for your guidance and support. The Dean of the Faculty, always Dean of the Faculty is with us. Even today, he said so many things about alumni. So you have been a tower of strength to us. Thank you very much, sir, for your presence. And also Professor Nalin, and he was instrumental in strengthening our alumni. And I am in the alumni thanks to you, Professor. Thank you very much for your participation and encouraging us to do these webinars and advising us all the time. All the staff of the faculty and the Open University for their continuous assistance for us to do these webinars, and this is, I think, our fifth webinar. And also to our moderator, Dr. Dhananjaya, and he has become a really professional moderator at this moment. So thank you very much, Dhananjaya, conducting this event to the expectation of the participants, and to entire executive committee for putting a lot of efforts, particularly to our secretary, energetic secretary, Mr. Indika, Though he was not well, he put a lot of efforts in making this event a success. And last but not the least, all the participants for their kind cooperation and sharing their thoughts and then participating at this event. So let's see. We are going to have a next webinar. We will let you know the subject. Once again, whilst thanking every one of you, I wish you all the very best in all your endeavors, particularly in this the professional arena, and taking the cue from this presentation comes from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Yajith. Thank you very much for your kind words. As you rightly said, it was creativity and innovation in knowledge organizations done by our very own Vice Chancellor at our previous webinar. So once again, on behalf of me, thank you very much, Ken Vijay Kumar, sir, for you sharing your knowledge. And everyone, have a safe day and good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.